themselves with whatever means is necessary. And there's a gun shop
all
around
civilians are armed in Texas. It's already armed.
That's what I'm saying. But it would be other things that he would allow us to arm ourselves with and whatever else. It's just that we are very heavily armed here, and somebody that was a foreign invader would meet their Jesus, would meet their God, because they're not going to allow you to just come here and take stuff. This would be the last place in California. They're armed there too, and that's something that I do think about while living here. If America was invaded, I'm glad to live in Texas, because at least I know everybody around me, most people around here anyway, know how to shoot some kind of weapon. My neighbors all know how to shoot a weapon, so we're good.
And that thing will go bang.
How much ammunition do you guys have individually in Texas that's going to hold off an invasion?
I'm sorry?
I mean, how much ammunition do you guys, you gun owners, usually have stored or sitting around on the coffee table? Is it enough?
No, we have a well, I will tell you, some folks and others have cabinets full of ammunition, and you don't have to just have little amounts. You can store it, with that kind of stuff, and people have chests full of that stuff. They don't just have a little bit laying around, because you have the right to store that and protect yourselves. And the state, that's why they encourage people to go to the gun range and stuff here legally, ethically, under the law, and follow the laws. I keep the law right on the back of my door, so when that door swings open, I know before it swings open, I'm looking at those laws. So that is important. But if you had a foreign invader, you would have every right to defend your property at all costs, and the government would allow you to do that, and I would be okay with doing that.
I'm just saying, when you do that, you make me think that you have enough ammunition and enough guns to fight off another army. Is that true?
Exactly what I'm trying to say, because you are portraying America like a third world country. I'm from a third world country. I'm from Africa. See, all these things can happen in a third world country. It can't happen in America. It's not possible. It's not
Brother,
possible.
we're a third world country now. I don't know if you heard that.
There's no amount of weapon you want to have in America as an individual or as a group that you want to topple the government. Maybe you watch too much American movies, that's why.
No, we're not talking about toppling the government. We're saying that there's enough ammunition here in Texas, three to four guns per person. If you're in a house and, each adult has 2 guns per person, that could work for what you're trying to defend, because you see what I'm saying? Because if the people around you know how to shoot, you're not shooting by yourself. You're shooting behind cover, and you're shooting to defend what you have. And you have the right to open fire on somebody, especially if it's more than one person. You can get a machine gun. The state would allow you to purchase a machine gun in the threat of invasion. They would allow that kind of stuff. And there's a gun shop that would sell them to me. There you go. So you're good. Buy one. They're legal. Buy.
Okay, any other gun owners on the stage? Well, I want to keep, will agree that you guys can hold off.
Absolutely, right here. What's your question?
My question is, how long do you think that you can hold off an invading force from another country?
An invading force from another.
In fairness, if a foreign army was coming here, Texas is probably the last state they would go to. They would not.
They're going to go to a coastal state. They're not going to just go inland. They're going to go to a coastal state. But I will say
they're going to go Oregon, right? They ain't got nothing to worry about.
Oh, yeah, they definitely not going to Florida or Texas. That's
No.
Well, Florida possibly. Actually, I won't say no to Florida. Florida's a possibility because it's easily accessible.
In Oregon.
Even though Texas is heavily armed, that doesn't mean that y'all can go to the range, but firing under duress is completely different than just being inside.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
And I will say this too, and people got to know this, especially gun owners.
Yeah.
They're how to put this with being respectful. I would say 60 to 70% of the people that own guns have never actually discharged it into another person, probably more, right? And there's a barrier that exists if you haven't done it before. And shooting a target, shooting things down, and actually discharging that with the intent to end life into a human person. Most people hesitate in the moment of truth, and that leads to fucking death. You know what I mean? I don't care how
Yeah,
many
but that
people
goes for
die.
police officers. There's plenty of police officers that
Anybody.
never had to fire.
Yeah, no, I'm not just saying, I'm not trying to target anybody. I'm just saying in general, this is a fact. For anybody that knows weaponry and have been around guns and have had to do what you need to do, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
There is a barrier that most people can't break when it comes to actually shooting somebody. And I've had friends that were killed by their own gun because they pulled it and didn't finish the job. Like once you up that ante and you put it life or death on the line, because once you pull a gun, it is a life or death situation at that point, right? That is when the rubber meets the road and you get to see who's who.
And you cannot shoot anybody in the back. If they're leaving the premises, you cannot shoot them in the back. If they're closing that gap and they're facing you, you absolutely have to close that gap and you have to shoot them. You cannot hesitate or anything like that kind of stuff. Because like my folks told me, get behind something. Don't open yourself up. Get skinny. Stay skinny and shoot. Don't open your body up, and you will have a lot better chance of living than trying to, you know.
To answer Lisa's question, no, Lisa.
Can I
The simple
What?
answer
can I say something?
is hell no.
Yeah,
Can I say something?
No.
that's it. Lisa's question. We was answering Lisa's question. Gemini said hell no, and I said no.
Can I say something?
That's a fact.
Somebody said, can they ask a question? Sure.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir, welcome.
Yeah. And holding a weapon is one thing. Knowing how to use it is another thing. Okay, I remember that was the region of is it Palestine or something, where Osama bin Laden was killed.